Global Hit Music Sessions Volume 53. Once again,
Her hips didn't just move, they spoke. Her voice carried 1,000 rhythms, born from two worlds and one burning heart. From the dusty streets of Barranquilla to the world's biggest stages, Shakira, Isabel Mubarak Ripoll, became more than a performer. She became a phenomenon. But behind the glittering lights and the global hits lies a story of pain, resilience, and rebirth. A story of a young girl who turned heartbreak into melody and scandal into art. How does a woman who once sang barefoot in her hometown become the symbol of Latin power and feminine strength around the globe? This is the untold journey of Shakira, the fire that refused to fade. Shakira Isabel Mubarak Ripoll was born in Barranquilla, Colombia, a port city where African drums met Arabic melodies, and the air itself seemed to dance. Her father, William Mubarak, was of Lebanese descent, a man of poetry and discipline. Her mother, Nydia Ripoll, was Colombian, gentle yet strong. Together they raised a daughter whose heartbeat echoed both worlds. But life was not always a song. When Shakira was still a child, her father's jewelry business collapsed. The family lost almost everything. One day, he took her to a local park to see the children who lived in the streets, sleeping on cardboard. "This is what poverty looks like," he told her. "Never forget it." That day changed her forever. She began writing poems to understand the world, dancing to silence her fears. At school, her voice was unlike anyone else's, deep, trembling, too raw for the polished stage. Teachers told her it sounded too strong, too strange. But the little girl didn't stop singing. She believed her voice had a destiny, one that would one day carry the soul of Colombia to the world. And so before fame, before the global spotlight, Shakira was simply a dreamer with wild hair, a notebook full of songs, and a fire no one could extinguish. At just 13, Shakira signed her first recording contract with Sony Music Colombia, a dream come true, or so it seemed. Her first two albums, Magia and Peligro, were commercial failures. Critics dismissed her as another teenage experiment, too poetic, too foreign, too unpredictable for pop. But inside her, a quiet rebellion was growing. She retreated to write, to listen, to redefine who she was. The result was Pies Descalzos, Bare Feet. It wasn't just an album. It was a manifesto. Every lyric came from struggle, every beat from her roots. When Estoy Aquí hit Latin America in 1995, it was like a storm. Raw, rhythmic, unapologetically real. The girl who once sang barefoot on school stages now had millions singing with her. Yet fame in Latin America was only the first step. Shakira knew she had a bigger mountain to climb, to cross the language barrier, to conquer the English-speaking world without losing her soul. She began learning English by studying poetry. Leonard Cohen, Walt Whitman, rewriting her own lyrics until they felt alive again. It was more than ambition. It was destiny forming in real time. The world was about to meet a new kind of pop star, one who didn't just perform the rhythm, but was the rhythm. By the early 2000s, Shakira stood at the edge of a cultural crossroads. Latin America adored her, but she was ready to speak to the world. In 2001, she released Laundry Service, her first English-language album. With it came Whenever, Wherever, a song that crossed oceans. The sound was unmistakable, a fusion of Andean pipes, Arabic strings, and rock guitars. The hips, the hair, the energy, everything about her was electric. MTV crowned her the new queen of pop. But she wasn't just another pop princess. Shakira was something else. Primal yet poetic, fierce yet fragile. The world took notice. Sold-out arenas, Grammy Awards, magazine covers. Her albums sold over 70 million copies. Her performances, from the World Cup to the Super Bowl, became spectacles of rhythm and power. But behind the thunder of applause, there was a quiet awareness. Fame was both a gift and a trap. Shakira spoke often about feeling misunderstood. "People see the hair, the hips, the moves," she once said, "but they don't see the hours of silence behind it, And yet, through all the noise, she stayed true to her essence. In songs like Hips Don't Lie, she celebrated joy and body and freedom, turning rhythm into revolution. In Underneath Your Clothes, she showed vulnerability and devotion. For the world, Shakira had become a symbol of Latin pride, of artistic freedom, of feminine power. But fame, as always, carries its shadows. The brighter the stage lights burned, the darker the silence behind them became. And soon, that silence would begin to speak, through heartbreak, scandal, and survival. For years, Shakira seemed untouchable, the perfect balance of art, beauty, and global grace. But even the strongest lights can flicker. In 2010, she met Gerard Piqué, a world champion footballer, younger, confident, magnetic. Their love was instant, their family picture perfect. 2 sons, a Barcelona mansion, smiles under Mediterranean sun. To the world, they were a fairy tale. But behind closed doors, the cracks began to show. By 2022, that fairy tale shattered. Rumors of infidelity spread like wildfire. Tabloids tore through their private lives, and Shakira found herself fighting not just heartbreak, but humiliation. At the same time, Spain's government accused her of tax evasion, a legal battle that threatened her reputation and peace of mind. Cameras followed her every move. And yet, she stayed silent. No interviews, no angry statements. Instead, she turned pain into sound. Te felicito, a robotic love song laced with irony. Monotonia, an echo of heartbreak so raw it hurt to listen. Then came BZRP music sessions, Tharbor 53. The explosion. You traded a Ferrari for a Twingo, she sang. A Rolex for a Casio. It wasn't revenge, it was liberation. A woman reclaiming her story verse by verse, her pain became universal. Millions of women saw themselves in her lyrics. Broken but unbowed, mocked but unafraid. For the first time, the world saw not the glamorous pop star, but the woman behind the fire. Vulnerable, betrayed, but unbreakable. The scandal that could have destroyed her instead reignited her. And from the ashes, Shakira began to dance again. Not for love, not for fame, but for herself. In the aftermath of heartbreak, Shakira could have disappeared. Many stars fade quietly after the fall. But she chose a different path. She rebuilt herself, not on stages, but in silence. Between court hearings and custody battles, she returned to the studio, to the one thing that never betrayed her: music. And when she sang again, the world listened differently. No longer the pop goddess with perfect choreography. She was raw, fierce, and real. Each lyric became a confession, each rhythm a heartbeat of survival. Shakira also turned pain into purpose. Her Pies Descalzos Foundation, which she founded long before fame, expanded its mission, building schools and supporting children across Colombia. She became a global advocate for education, performing at the United Nations, reminding leaders that a child with a book can change the world. As an artist, she evolved, blending Latin roots, urban edge, and spiritual depth. As a woman, she transformed, no longer defined by who she loved, but by what she created. When fans saw her perform again, there was something different in her eyes. Not innocence, not sadness, but strength. The girl who once sang barefoot had walked through fire. And now, she was dancing on the ashes, free, fearless, and reborn. Today, Shakira stands as more than an artist. She is a bridge between worlds, between Latin America and the global stage, between tradition and revolution, between heartbreak and rebirth. Her legacy isn't just measured in Grammys or sold-out stadiums. It lives in the rhythm she gave to millions who once felt unseen. In her voice, there is defiance. In her silence, there is wisdom. She turned scandal into strength, love into lessons, and sorrow into sound. Shakira's story reminds us that the brightest flames are not the ones that burn fastest, but the ones that refuse to go out. And long after the lights fade and the music stops, her fire will keep dancing, in every heart that learned to rise again. This was the untold journey of Shakira, the fire that refused to fade. If this story moved you, like, share, and subscribe for more untold journeys of stars and scandals.